Hello everyone and welcome back to Horse Review. In this episode, I will be discussing the Andalusian. To start with, we'll use the grid to evaluate the horse's proportions. As you can see, the Andalusian is quite a bit taller than it is long, by about half a square. Some of the horses that I've reviewed in previous episodes have this same problem, but not quite this extreme. The shoulder takes up 1 square, the barrel a bit less than 2 squares, and the haunches make up the remainder of about 1.5 squares. If you look at the head, you'll also notice that it's a bit too small for the size of the horse's body. Because of how the Andalusian's model was designed, the legs are far too long for the body, which you can especially see in the length of the gaskins and hind cannons. This unfortunately sets the horse up for failure when it comes time for it to move, which we'll take a look at next. You can already see the consequences of the poor conformation in the walk. Though the horse is tracking up, the hind legs aren't really reaching up and underneath. Instead, they're taking small steps. The front legs aren't reaching very well either, making the walk look short, even though the horse is moving at a good pace. To go with this, the shoulders aren't moving very much. The knees are not allowed to fully extend either, which contributes to the steps looking kind of short. You may also notice that the haunches are stretching quite a bit more than they should be, especially near the stifle. When slowing the video down, you can clearly see that the horse is landing on the front of its hooves with each step, which is not desirable and can lead to lameness issues. In addition, the hind legs never stretch back, so the bend at the hock stays about the same level, regardless of where the horse is in the stride. The trot is a bit less messy than the walk, but that doesn't mean it's without its issues. Once again, you can see the length of the legs, especially the back ones, interfering with the movement. The horse is stepping up quite high in the hind legs and not using its hindquarters to drive itself forward. Because of this, the legs don't have a chance to form the nice V shape that's desirable in this gait. The shoulder action is once again minimal, though the haunches aren't stretching quite as much as at the walk, which is nice. Unfortunately, the horse is still landing on its toes. The canter is much better than the previous 2 gaits, and I would say that this is the Andalusian's strongest gait overall. The front legs still don't reach as far as I would like to see, but it's much improved and not terrible by any means. However, the hind legs still don't come up underneath the horse, and once again, the hocks seem to be somewhat locked in place. The hind right hoof lands on the toe, but the other 3 appear to land flat, which is more ideal. In general, I would consider the Andalusian's canter acceptable. Unfortunately, in the hand gallop, we revert back to a disjointed movement. The legs are so long that at full speed, the horse almost appears to have noodles for legs. I'll slow the video down before continuing to get a better look. The hind legs come up underneath the horse much more than at the previous gaits, but once again, they don't extend the whole way back. The front left leg reaches reasonably well, though I'd like to see more reach from the front right, too. The shoulder isn't moving very much, which probably doesn't help with this. The legs appear to be more organized at the full gallop than the hand gallop, but I'll slow it down to get a better look. Once again, the front legs are reaching better at the faster gaits, though the shoulder is still barely moving. The hind legs come up underneath the horse and actually extend behind it a little bit. However, the full range of motion of the hocks still isn't being used, making it look somewhat sloppy. The horse's back is also dropping with each stride, giving it a wiggly appearance. The Andalusian has one special move, the Spanish walk. While the gait is accurate in terms of footfall and the overall appearance, you can see that the front legs come down quite harshly and the hind legs bend a bit too much. If you look closely, you can also see that the shoulder clips into the barrel a little bit. The rear itself isn't bad, and the horse goes to a realistic angle at the height of the movement. The knees do clip into the legs a little, but that's mostly due to the angle they're at. The landing is a little rough, and the hind legs appear to slide back upon the landing. Overall, though, it's not the worst rear that I've seen. The sliding stop is quite harsh, and the horse really digs its front legs into the ground. If done repetitively, this could lead to joint issues. The canter jump isn't bad, and the horse tucks its front legs well. The takeoff is decent and the landing is smooth. The jump from the hand gallop is very similar to the canter jump, though the hind legs stick out behind the horse a bit more and the head is slightly higher. The transition back to the gait is still smooth, though. The gallop jump is just like the others, but the hind legs stick out even further this time. Fortunately, the head isn't quite as high as at the hand gallop. The landing is a bit awkward, though, with the horse landing on the left lead, but then immediately switching to the right lead. Overall, the Andalusian unfortunately has a lot of problems. The base model isn't very good to start with, which created issues when it came time to animate the movements. All of the gaits except for the canter leave a lot to be desired, and the other animations have their flaws too. Because of this, the Andalusian is the first horse in the horse review series to receive a score of bad. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If there's a horse that you'd like to see next, please let me know in the comments.